YouTubers, thank you guys for tuning in for another tutorial of mine. Today I will be showing you guys how I achieve this deep side parts traditional sew-in with curls. Today I will be working with BGMgirl. The information will be located in the description box. Today we are working with 2 18s and 2 16s. I will be doing a deep side part traditional sew-in. A traditional sew-in is when the client leaves their natural hair out. Please don't be disrespectful in the comments and ask why she didn't get a closure or a frontal. She is a child. She is 13 years old. I made this video because I've been getting requests for younger teenagers as far as what to do with their hair. They don't want their teenager with a frontal or a closure. So here's a tutorial on how to do a traditional sew-in on a minor. So simply we're going to start off by parting out her leave out section. Now we don't want to leave out too much, but we want to leave out enough so that it covers up the track and it also gives her a little bit of hair to blend. Now most parents say they don't want too much leave out because they don't want to manage their hair too much, because you know how some teenagers are. So we're only going to leave out the top portion. We didn't leave out any of the sides. I'm actually sewing her hair down with a net so that this sew-in can last up to 4 to 6 weeks or even longer. To each his own. I like sewing in with a net because it actually holds the style and the hair in place longer versus if you was to sew it on top of your hair. Foundation. The foundation of a sew-in is very important. You want to make sure that the sew-in is very flat and nice and neat. So we're going to begin sewing the 18-inch at the bottom. So stay tuned as you watch me sew in her hair. it might look like I'm just speeding through these tracks and just sewing her hair in, which I am. But as a beginner, you want to take your time. You don't want to poke the client from trying to speed or trying to hurry up. You want to correctly position the tracks, as in making sure they're locked in, especially on the ends and on the corners. You want to make sure that you double tie the ends so that the rest of the thread doesn't unravel and make the entire sewing loose. So just a quick little tips that I wanted to give you guys, because I know I speeded the video up a little bit and you guys are probably like, she just sewed it in like super fast. But just take your time while you're sewing in. Once again, it is not a rush to sew in. You do it to your own aggression. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera around so you guys can see the bang part. Now, it's two different ways you can do this. Now, if your client is asking for a side part, you can either sew the tracks in where it's a U, so you're sewing it in where the hair falls directly in their face, or you can sew the tracks in on the side where that the hair will fall on the side, like going towards their ear instead of going towards their nose or their eyes, if you understand what I'm saying. So she is going to have a little bit of hair to cover up her eye, just a slight bit, because she is getting the deep side part. So as you can see, it's going to be more hair for me to sew in on the bang part than it is on the other side, and that is fine. You only want to make sure that when you finish this bang, sewing in the rest of these tracks for this bang, you want to leave at least one good track for you to complete the sew in, and you will see this at the end. So you're going to just see me fill in this bang part. I probably wouldn't have to sew in going all the way around because that part is kind of almost done. So I'm just going to fill in her bang part. So just stay tuned how I give her a seamless sew in to blend her natural hair. So this here is the final track that I will be sewing in. This is almost the most important track of the entire sew-in because you want to make sure that it lays super flat. You want to make sure that the braid isn't bulking out. You want to make sure that everything has a seamless pattern, so that when you take her natural hair and pull it over this track, you won't see any gaps, you won't see any holes, you won't see any hair sticking out. Everything is a seamless parts, okay? So stay tuned as you watch me blend in her natural hair. by the looks of it, you can tell that her natural hair is two different textures from the hair in the weave, which is fine. However, she do have to keep up the maintenance on this style because her hair is left out. I tried to straighten it as much as possible without overheating it or putting any heat damage to her hair. Her hair was a bit coarse. You want to make sure when it comes to your teenagers that they are oiling their hair or putting some type of moisture on their hair, because if not, it's going to be hard and brittle and dry. So for my parents out there that have questions on how to style their hair, how to blend their natural hair with their sew-in, stay tuned and watch how I do this. The product that I use to actually lay her edges down is my premium BeezWax. It has coconut oil and castor oil mixed inside. It's a edge control product that is not a wet based product, and you do not have to apply it every day. This should hold on her hair for at least 5 to 7 days with no problem and with no reapplication. So right now I'm just going to cut some layers in the front part of her hair. I'm going to trim around her edges, just give her a good finished clean look, and then we're going to proceed with the curls. Now, as you can see, I am pressing and blending her hair to the gods, okay? So you want to make sure after leaving the hair out, after pressing it, you want to flat iron it to blend it in as much as possible. We know it's not going to be a seamless blend where it blends in with the flow of the weave because it's two different textures, but we want to get it as straight as possible without causing any heat damage. a traditional sew-in for my 12-year-old, for my 13-year-old, or my 14-year-old. She's going to high school. We want to get her hair done, something that will last. Me, honestly, I do think that this hairstyle will last up to 4 to 6 weeks for your minors, as long as they wrap their hair up and also blend their natural hair. You shouldn't have any problems. Make sure you guys click that link in the description box and subscribe to my channel.